Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of the official Cobra Kai rewatch podcast, Sweep the Pod. I'm Bret Ernst, also known as Louis LaRusso. I'm with Dan Adut, who is Anoush, whatever his last name is.
Naruzzi,
who's on the phone right now because he's very LA.
I am actually emailing with Leo and Zach, the epic music producers who did the music for Cobra Kai, because they are going to do the music for our podcast that you've already heard.
Right, which you've already heard.
You've already heard it. And this is how the sausage is made. Anyway.
Anyways, episode 5. First of all, I also want to address, we got some responses to the walkout. I guess I sold it really well. And also, if you guys want to send questions, any comments, we receive it on our socials, Sweep the Pod. But Dan, we really sold it.
You sold it. I actually believed it. I thought that you were leaving, and I was like, oh no, I've already put out that money to build the deck, and now how am I going to pay for it?
But we play jokes on each other all the time.
We prank. We do pranks.
We love it. But I really thought you would have picked up on it. But your face was priceless. People loved it. They thought it was hilarious.
You know, you got to give the people what they want.
Yes, we do.
You got me good.
But now we can never do it again because
thank God.
We can't sell it. Kick us off, episode 5. What was it called?
Episode 5 is called Counterbalance, which is an interesting name because Counterbalance is also the name of the production company that the guys, the creators of the show, started. A fun little nod.
Is it after? Was it Counterbalance before or after?
Interesting. I don't know what the chicken or the egg is there.
All right.
But Counterbalance, balance, all obviously a huge theme for Miyagi-Do. And we start off with, man, does it get better than a classic 80s style training montage?
Which I loved. They're training hard. He's got the ball machine.
The ball machine.
You see him progressing to getting better. Working on defense, by the way.
Working on defense.
Right. Blocking balls, getting shot at.
I think we can safely say the best training montage ever in life is, say it with me at the same time. We haven't planned this out. 1, 2, 3.
Rocky
4. Boom.
Absolutely.
Best training montage ever.
And best soundtrack to work out to.
Dun, 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 dun.
It goes dun 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 dun.
You want to hear something crazy? So the guys, Zach and Leo, the writers of the music for Cobra Kai, heavily inspired by the guy who did the Rocky soundtracks.
Who is?
I forget his name.
Bill Conti.
Is it Bill Conti?
Bill Conti.
They had
or Conti, but I think it's Conti.
They actually had a show together here in LA. I went to it, a live show where it was Leo and Zach and Bill Conti performing together.
Get out of here.
Epic.
If you could throw John L. Williams in there, that's like...
I don't think his name is Bill Conti, though. I think you're wrong on that.
No, it is.
I think you're wrong.
No, it's Bill Conti.
I think you're wrong.
Wait, let's bet.
I'll bet you $5.
No, let's go 100.
$100? Fine.
Which I will never collect from you, but go ahead.
Who did the Rocky... Google doesn't know. Anyway,
You owe me $100.
Let's keep things moving. So
That's Miguel
is training. He is training, 80s training montage, fun, undercut by the yoga studio coming in.
You can't just glance over that. John L. Williams, you know who he is.
John Williams, like the guy who does like all of the Steven Spielberg stuff?
Star Wars. Do you know his son?
I think it's just John Williams. He doesn't go by John.
You want to do Double or Nothing?
No.
So, Mario, you can check on that anyways with no bet. His son, I believe, is the founding members of Toto. That does Africa.
Interesting.
Rosanna, which I think, in my opinion, is one of the best composed pop songs of all time.
You say Toto, I think Toto toilets.
Not the dog from Wizard of Oz?
No, I go straight to those fun toilets that they have the fun button. You know, the button that's like half for pee and then a hole for...
Why would you refer to it as fun?
It's a fun button. Oh my God, I forgot. You get really angry at me when I call things fun. There was something else I called fun and you just ragged on me forever. Sorry that I find fun in life. It's just John Williams. John L. Williams.
I thought it was John L. Williams. Can you find out if there's an L in his middle name?
Yes, Mara.
Because if I just made that up,
this
I've
is
got
what we want Mara to be
26 chances to guess what his middle initial is. Oh, John T.
Okay, great. Double or nothing. We're even now. We're at 0. The training montage is undercut by a yoga class coming in. They're renting space. They put a very funny sign on the wall that says, "Love is here to namaste," which is very cute, very fun.
Have you do yoga?
I have been known to downward dog.
I've done it. I used to do it with my ex-wife.
Yeah.
If you're a married man and your wife takes you to a yoga studio, very difficult. Very difficult.
Very difficult. You might as well put a blindfold on.
It's just so hard, man.
It's very difficult.
And no pun intended.
Hey,
lady. Oh, geez. I'll be here all week.
John L. Williams. So LaRusso takes out Armand. So Danny takes out Armand. Armand, amazing actor. The actor who plays Azamat in Borat. His name, I literally just looked it up. It's something Davidian. What is it? God damn it.
He's I think he's Armenian.
Stupid. He is Armenian. Anyone with an IAN in the last name,
now
usually Armenian. His name is Ken Davidian.
Now, really quick, this is a very Sicilian episode as far as Daniel's chess playing on his revenge.
Yes.
This is very, very Sicilian.
I didn't even realize what was going on, and then it made sense to me with this whole little bit of rent fun with the rent.
But that's the reveal.
Why is it more Sicilian than Jewish?
It's a very Sicilian American, I'll say, because I don't want to. Every time you mention Italian outside, the people from Italy go nuts. So we'll say Italian American move. It's very Italian, even the way at the end when we get there, but I'll explain it.
I'd like to hear it when we get there. But anyway, he takes out Ken Davidian, Armand, and he's showing interest in some real estate in Reseda. Wait, is it in Reseda, the strip mall?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why do you want this crappy mall?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just interested. Something's going on." Then Aisha, dude, every time we say her name, let's make that a thing. You have to say.
But wait, did you skip anything about Robbie and his mom? Was this Aisha's before this? Go ahead. What are we going to say? Because now we get to see Robbie and his drunk mom. This is when she brings the guy home. Right? But this is before she's going on a date. Robbie's like, "Hey, Ma, we can watch a movie," and she's hammered. But maybe I skipped.
I don't know. I don't have that in here. Are you sure that's the right episode?
Episode 5, yeah. That's when when she's drunk and she's getting ready to go out.
Okay.
And she's like, "Your father came and he was saying he wanted you to live with him."
Right.
And he's like, "But I know him, he's selfish." Meanwhile, she's being selfish.
Right.
Then she says, "It's hard to get a good guy. Do you know how hard it is to get a good man?" "Well, yeah, but you're not a good woman, so and Robbie is very conflicted. I mean, it is tough.
Shout out to
your
Carol.
mom's dating.
Shout out to Carol.
Well, Carol, let me explain.
Carol was dating while she was raising you.
But Carol was still mom. Like when she went out, it was never, I had friends without saying anything.
Would you meet the men that she was dating?
Only if they were together for a while.
Okay. What were they? What was the archetype? Was she into Italian? Like,
I don't really want to talk about my mother. My stepfather, you mean? When she ended up meeting a guy and marrying him?
I'm sorry. Is this a bridge too far? I'm just asking questions about Carol.
I don't know my mom's type.
I want to know Carol's type.
All right, her type, I'll be honest with you, every dude she's ever been with is a street guy.
What does a street guy mean?
A cop, like a blue collar. Okay. My real father was a tough guy.
Your father was a tough guy?
Yeah. Okay. But, that type, motorcycle, greased hair, leather jacket, like the guys you would see in Happy Day, Fonzie.
Yeah.
My mom would go for Fonzie.
Hilarious.
My stepfather was a detective, but, he was just a tough guy.
Got it.
So
shout out to Carol and her dating proclivities.
But my mother only listen.
Excuse me, I'm talking to Carol.
No, you don't. Do not talk to my mother,
Carol. We want you to know that
I don't like this because now people are going to start putting in Carol comments. No, Carol's well known. I mentioned Carol in this special, but just so you know, and this is very important, my mother only had sex 3 times.
Oh boy,
and it was me, my brother, and my little brother.
Right,
my older brother, my little brother. I'm the middle.
Can you do us a favor
and stop moving? Yeah, with
and
the hands.
stop hitting things and. Bret does a lot of, these Italians.
But I was going to say is that my friends that had single moms, there were 2 that acted like Robbie's mom and even worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember one time, because I grew up in apartments, we were at one of the...
What are those? Those are homes, but you stack one on top of the other?
Yes.
Right.
But anyways, one of the moms was literally having sex in the other room while we were watching TV.
Wait, really?
And it was one of the maintenance guys that worked in the building.
Shout out to the maintenance guys.
The maintenance guys always.
You got to get your own. You got to go clean those pipes.
But I was like, we were all sitting there and
no,
I'm dead serious.
Oof.
And so when I see Robbie's mom, it actually reminds me of a couple of my friends.
You do seem to get kind of triggered by her behavior. It really, it seems to do something to you.
I not triggered.
Because Carol was a good woman.
Yeah.
Carol didn't go down that road.
No, not at all.
Carol kept it together. And so you appreciate that so much that when you see someone not doing that, it really gets under your skin.
It was, especially my generation, which relates to...
Which is the
Karate Kid.
Civil War generation.
Right. A lot of we're known because you're a Gen Z,
right.
So you don't know this.
Yeah.
But we were called the latchkey kid generation,
right?
And the boomers had the highest divorce rate, I think, of any generation at the time.
Okay,
and a lot of kids, similar childhoods, single moms, and here's the other thing: when you're in that type of area, you also have a lot of angry young boys. That's why there was a lot of fighting and picking on people. And,
yes,
so when you see that and you watch it and you see Robbie, there is a thing where they nailed that.
Yes.
And it's also very 80s.
Right.
Whether you realize that or not. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Love it. Then we get to, sorry, that was just a therapy session for Bret because he needed to work out.
No, I'm fine. My mom's fine.
We love Carol.
Yeah, I know.
Here. Carol is a friend of the pod.
Rachel.
You watch your goddamn mouth. Then we get to Aisha. She wants to get taught Cobra Kai. She walks into the Cobra Kai dojo and a very hilarious generational gender.
There's no girls in Cobra Kai, just like the army.
No chicks.
They have tiny hollow bones.
Tiny hollow bones is so funny. I wrote that too.
And then he said she ate Twinkies or something. There was like a fat joke there.
Yeah, fat jokes. He goes in hard. But then this is what I like about Johnny. His code of ethics is so rock solid because he is totally comfortable going into her after this for her gender, for her this, for her that, for her weight. But then when he finds out that she's being cyberbullied, that trumps everything else.
Well, first of all, it's the money because Miguel brings up her father was an ex-professional football player, which you get to see that when she beats Miguel. She does nice tackle. But, Johnny's like, I don't need you to act like a girl, start arguments for no reason, get sensitive. He gets into that.
Yeah.
Then, yes, he hears that and you can see it bothers him. Even though he was a bully.
Yeah, but he was a real bully. He was a 1.0 bully, not a 2.0 bully.
Which that's the thing. These kids are such pussies today. They need to bully you in your face. Why are they bullying you on keyboards?
Right.
And I think all of us feel that way about keyboard warriors.
Sorry. I was trying to say KBWs and I said KeyBWs. Keyboard warriors. As a keyboard warrior who does most of his bullying online, I will tell you I enjoy the anonymity that I have, and I get the appeal of it because when you're real bullying, it's tough because you got to deal with the consequences, and that's what Johnny is all about. He is about fessing up. He's about owning up. He's about repping, and now he sees that he can have an impact on Aisha's life. Armand doesn't want to sell them all. Daniel
doesn't want to side, but wait.
Yes.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
Because he goes, why do you want it?
Yeah, what do you know that I don't know?
Now, right. Why do you want to buy this thing?
Yeah.
And Daniel's playing Italian-American chess.
Yeah.
And now it's the next move. And he says, look, they're doubling the rents.
All over.
The reveal, I thought he wanted to buy it in the beginning.
I did too.
And now, payback.
He's playing chess. We were playing checkers. He was playing chess. Our homeless chick is back.
Homeless Lynn.
Homeless Lynn is back.
Kids are smoking weed in the car.
In the parking lot. Kids are smoking weed in the... Are you a weed smoker?
I've never tried it.
Not once.
Never.
I haven't smoked weed very often lately.
I wanted to ask you that, but it was in regards to something else. But yeah, no.
Never. I could see that. You don't strike me as the weed type.
I was never...
I could see you selling weed to weed dealers.
Close.
So they're smoking weed, and Kyler lied about talking shit. Kyler's been talking smack.
I don't like that. This right here.
Spreading blowjob rumors.
Blowjob in a movie theater packed with people.
Yeah.
Now the way Sam plays it though is I like how she plays it. She's like, no, it's just not true. And she's not letting it bother her because every time she logs on and she's smiling about it. She's not distraught over it.
She's
very strong young
adult
lady
about it. Yes. Yeah. We're back in Cobra Kai now, and hilariously, Johnny tells Miguel to beat the crap out of Aisha.
Right.
To do everything he can to beat the shit, to use all of his skills. And Miguel, being the gentleman, is like, I can't do that. And he's like, what happened? What happened? You said
Cobra Kai, we don't surrender, right? If you're into this gender equality,
yeah, you
need to give it a smoke.
You need to beat the crap out of her, and he gives her a solid kick
right in the sternum.
Boom. But Aisha gets up and just like double leg takedown, crazy tackle.
Father's genes kick in.
Boom, and she does
tackles him, and then
WWE like elbow knee drop. That's right.
Get the table.
Which is very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Then we have a sad scene. Hilarious though. Johnny's at a pawn shop. He needs to sell a bunch of stuff to pay for the rent. He doesn't have enough rent money. He's at the pawn shop.
You jumped something.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
What?
So now you're seeing the repercussions of Daniel LaRusso, not you. Plan.
Do you know my full name is Dan? Not Daniel.
All right.
Just Dan.
Well, Daniel LaRusso.
I know, but this is a side thing about me.
Okay, good.
And then you're going to be like, you started talking about yourself and now I forgot what I was talking about.
So now now you start to realize Daniel fucked over the store. And ironically, or not, I don't know what the word, coincidentally, Amanda realizes that. But because of his chess move to get at Billy, now the other store owners are fucked. Or to get at Johnny, all the store owners are fucked. And the guy's like, I can't afford this. Why are you jacking the rent? So
you're moving forward. I'm okay with it. But I was taking us in the right direction. And then you came over and you took the reins and you just fast forwarded us like crazy.
You're right.
Okay.
I made note of this because I realized when he did that, he's fucking over everyone. But go ahead. You're right.
I would like an apology.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine.
So the 80s swimsuit I thought was hilarious.
So we're back at the pawn shop.
Trying to sell Elle Macpherson swimsuit
hilarious. He's trying to sell Elle Macpherson's swimsuit issue. He's trying to sell an Atari.
Yeah, which he called a Nintendo.
Yeah, which he called a Nintendo. And then to me, the funniest thing, because I don't know if you had these like coin.
No, but I remember the commercials.
Dude, I had these things. They come in little booklets and these dumb little certificates. Hilarious.
And he had the certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the swimsuit and to the younger listeners, particularly the males. That's what you had before internet porn. It was Victoria's Secret catalogs.
Yep.
You were jerking off to swimsuit. The swimsuit issue from Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
That was the issue. You
That was
waited
it.
for it. And that Elle McPherson one, there's the one with her in the green bathing suit.
Yeah.
There's the Kathy Ireland one, the Cindy Crawford one. But that was the pinnacle.
And that would have to last you. That like it was a quarterly. That was who you'd be masturbating to for the quarter.
And we looked forward to that magazine.
Now, again, I am Gen Z, but I have read about this. And this is the way that it used to be, apparently.
Well, also before internet porn, these kids don't know the struggle. I don't know if, and I've heard different comics do variations of this. I've talked about it in my act. Every guy that's in my generation, you excluded, but you probably might have experienced this as a Gen Z. Did you and your friends like we used to go on the railroad tracks or like somebody would say, hey,
You've already lost me.
well, I know.
We used to go on the railroad tracks.
Yeah. Well, you were in Long Island. They did have the expressway.
Okay.
I mean, the Long Island Railroad.
Shout out to Ron Konkama. Okay.
I don't know if you inline skated on the rails, but you would find a Playboy and your friend be like, yo, I found a Playboy on the railroad tracks or in the woods or whatever. And you and your friends would make a pilgrimage to find this magazine that some bum pleasured himself to.
Right.
And you're all young boys going, holy shit, looking through the magazine.
Yeah.
That was our version of Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a similar story to that?
So my uncle Farah
Shout out to Big F.
Big F Farah Maris was living at his parents' house, which was my grandparents' house. So my grandparents' house, their son was living at the house, and he was like the Iranian playboy in his 20s who wore too much cologne and had a big mustache and all this stuff. But he had a treasure trove of Playboys in the attic. So we would always want to visit our grandparents, and our parents thought, oh my God, what great kids we have. They always want to go to their grandparents' house. We just wanted to go lock ourselves in the attic with this stash of Playboy magazines.
Now, you see how I let you finish that story? No interruptions. Okay. I have one. Just let me get through it. So because I was raised with my grandparents, there was no...
Such a dick way to start this story.
No, see what I mean? Because you can't just let me finish it.
I was going to, but you started off by you spit venom at me, and then you're just like, all right, now just sit there and take it. All right, go ahead.
So my grandmother, pretty religious. So my grandfather had no porn, no magazines, except he had a calendar in the tool shed of like those, it's just, how they would draw those Coca-Cola things back in the day? They were like cartoonish, but they looked real. She had torpedo titties. And then he had a screwdriver with a girl on it in a bathing suit, like a onesie Betty Grable. But when you turn the screwdriver upside down, the sand went away, and then you could see she was naked.
Yes.
The point is, I jerked off to a screwdriver when I was 11 or 12.
OMG.
Anyways, so now...
OMG. I do remember the pens. They had the pens too. That would be naked.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Which is really odd for a Gen Z for you to remember that.
Yeah. I mean, again, I read about it on TikTok. So Armand doesn't sell the mall. Homeless chick, we got her back. Johnny, okay. Oh, and then Johnny is down on his luck, goes back home and busts open a Coors Banquet. I just wanted to do a quick aside about the Coors Banquet, by the way. Or no, this is when he goes to... That's right. He goes to the mini mall and he gets a Coors Banquet, right? And then Johnny walks in. I'm sorry. Let me start this over.
No, I was right. There's a scene, the scene I brought up before, where the store owner's like, "Why are you jacking up?"
Yeah,
the
that
rent?
happens now. That happens after.
No, that is way before Daniel walks in. So I was right.
Okay.
So you owe me an apology.
I'm sorry.
Now, this I wrote. This is very old.
Mara is fucking. She's like, this is gonna be an editing nightmare.
So we don't have to edit it. So what you were talking about, Ralph walks in and he's buying the beer.
Yeah.
This becomes, Daniel walks in. This
my God.
becomes, this is where it's Italian.
Before we get to Italian, I just want to take a
American.
quick aside about Coors Banquet, the beer that he drinks.
Yeah.
Fun story. I heard from the guys. Initially, they give him Coors Banquet. That's just the beer that he drinks, okay? Coors finds out that Cobra Kai, the show, is using Coors Banquet beers without asking for any approval or anything like that. And they send a cease and desist. You cannot use our beer. Then the show becomes a breakaway hit, and they start sending pallets of Coors Banquet to be used on the show.
That's hilarious.
And to be given out to everyone on the show. And I thought it was very, very funny.
Did they use it again?
Yeah, now they use it all the time. But it was like the initial thing was cease and desist. And then it was like, oh, wait, this is actually successful. It's good for our brand, which is hilarious.
So now Daniel walks in.
Yes.
And he came to see what he did, and his plan worked perfectly. And Johnny's buying the beer, looks up, sees him, says, yeah, I was just in the neighborhood. That right there, the way he did that, very Italian-American.
I love it. Slick.
And then he buys his beer.
Yeah.
That's the insult. He goes, put that on my tab. And he looks at him and he walks out. Because I think he said, do you have any spray paint? So when he comes in, he asks the guy, do you have any spray paint? I'm working on some street art. And then the guy's like, yeah. And then that let him know he knew.
He knew about the penis.
And then he brings up the rents around here, let him know that he knows. And then he bought his beer and walked out. That was the way he sent the message, let him know who sent the message. And then he added insult because he paid for his Coors Banquet.
Amazing. I didn't realize that with the spray paint. Now I do. Thank you.
Old school, sent the message.
Sent the message.
But then Courtney set him straight, though, when she said, you just heard all the other store owners.
Well, Courtney is Amanda LaRusso. One day you'll get it right. Amanda sets him straight. And by the way, this is a interesting story that I'd love to tell. But he goes home. He says, we're celebrating. I'm going to bring out the 2013. He's drinking the 2013 wine. Ralph Macchio loves a good wine. Can I tell my wine story with Ralph Macchio?
Without me interrupting you, of course.
Thank you. Ralph Macchio knows that I'm a huge foodie. And in real life,
Now, if I do this now, you see how annoying that could be? But go ahead.
It's fine. This is a conversation.
Shut up.
And he told me, hey, let me know when you're in New York. We're going to go get some great food. I'd love to take you out. And I was like, great, Ralph. Sounds amazing. And I would text him whenever I was in New York, but I'd never hear back. And I'm like, these are number 1 and 2 on the call sheet. These are the famous people. We're here on the side. He didn't mean it. He just said it flippantly. But one time I reached out, hey, I'm in New York. Boom, let's go out to dinner tonight. I was like, oh, we're actually going out for dinner. And that morning, he sends me a picture of a 2004 Sassicaia Super Tuscan. One of the most epic wines that money can buy. We're talking about a couple $1,000 this bottle of wine. And I'm like, he says, we're going to drink like kings tonight. And I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. Because he knows I'm a big wino. He's bringing this epic bottle. This is amazing. So
is that what they call people into wine, winos?
Yes.
No, but isn't there a term for it? Is it a sommelier?
Sommelier is the person who works at a restaurant and who
knows all the wine.
Yeah. So I'm going nuts. And so we're meeting at this steakhouse on Long Island called Prime in Huntington. I get there half an hour before and I'm like, go up to the manager. I'm like, hi, we have a reservation I think it's under Ralph Macchio. She's like, oh yes, of course, Mr. Macchio's table. And I was like, listen, can I talk to the manager? And she brings out the owner, sorry. And the owner comes out and he's like this jacked little Italian guy, bald with like a, one of those gray suits, the shiny gray suit, how your people do. And he comes over and he's like, well, so we're big fans of the show. So excited to have you here. I'm like, I'm excited too. Here's my credit card. I'm paying for dinner tonight.
Because you knew Ralph was bringing the expensive bottle.
Exactly. And he's like, oh, this is Mr. Macchio's favorite restaurant. He's not going to appreciate that. I'm like, trust me. You have no idea what wine this man is bringing. Take my credit card. I'm not taking no for an answer.
And can I say something? For a Jew, you are very, very generous.
Can we edit out for a Jew.
Now, you see, this is what I'm talking about. He could take a shot at the Italians, but then you take a shot at him. Go ahead.
So Ralph Macchio walks in to the steakhouse, okay? I'm telling you, it's like Long Island Jesus walked into the room. People lose their minds when they see Ralph. They lose their minds, especially on Long Island. It's like they go crazy. People come up, take pictures and that. The owner whisks us away to our table. Ralph has this like wine satchel, brings it to the table, pulls the wine out. The sommelier comes over, is like, oh my God, I cannot believe this bottle of wine is in our place. He opens it up with these like fancy tweezers, pours the wine out. We each take a sip. The wine is completely spoiled. And I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, oh my God, it's spoiled. And I was like, it's okay, man. He's like, no. I'm so embarrassed, Dan. I'm like, Ralph, there's no reason to be embarrassed. He's like, no. I'm embarrassed. Frankie, come here. Bring me the expensive wine list.
I love this story.
And I'm like, what? And in my head, I'm like, oh no. Because I'm paying for this dinner. He brings out the expensive wine list. He's like, Dan, what kind of wines have you been into lately? Well, I'm going to get an amazing wine. And I'm like, oh, well, beer's cool too.
Do you have any IPAs?
Yeah. And he's like, no, nonsense. We're going to get an amazing wine. How about this one? Points to like a $1,500 bottle. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Maybe, probably not. I don't know. He's like, all right, what about this one? $1,800. I'm like, fuck me. I'm screwed. Anyway, he ends up settling on a bottle of wine and we have this wonderful meal. And he also just wants to impress me. He's like, I'm sorry about the wine. We're going to go all out. Gets the caviar, gets the filet, gets the ribeye for two, like so much food because he's trying so hard to impress me. And the bill comes and it comes straight to me. And he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, nothing, Ralph. I got this. And it's like it's like 3 mortgage payments.
Well,
and he's like, what do you mean you got this? And I was like, dude, I got this meal. Like it's on me. Like you get the next one. And the flash goes over his face. Like he realizes what happened. He's like, holy cow, I sent you the picture of that wine and you came in here early and gave your credit card. And I was like, yeah, maybe that happened. And he starts cracking up. He's like, that's going to be my move from now on. I'm just going to send a picture of an awesome bottle of wine before I go to dinner. I'm like, you should call it the Macchio. He's like, yeah, you got Macchio'd. So anyway, I'm just saying, maybe Cobra Kai is right. Daniel is the actual villain in the story because he got me. He swept my leg.
Well, here's the thing, and I have 2 critiques of this.
Go.
One, I don't think he was trying to impress you. I think that's just who he is. I think it's not about impressing you. I think he wanted to treat you as family and as a guest. And somehow you think you made it that people want, like, why would he want to impress you? You mean make an impression? Do you think he's just doing that? It's the same thing when you were talking a few episodes back.
He's
just a solid,
you are
good
such
guy.
you give me the least benefit of the doubt with everything. Asshole. He wants to impress me because he knows that I am a food influencer.
Yeah, no,
that
you
I
are
host the #1 food podcast in the country. That I have a best-selling food book. And he wanted to show that Long Island food culture can get to the heights of New York City food culture, of LA food culture. He was so excited to show off Long Island food culture to me
But you grew up on Long Island.
I know, dude, but he knows that I go to Paris every year for food. I go to Tokyo. I go to all these fancy fucking places that you will only see on a fucking computer screen. And he wanted to impress me with a place that he takes so much pride in, Long Island. Not only that, Suffolk County, 631. And is that the worst thing ever? No.
The other critique is that
you fucking make my blood boil.
Your story was longer than any podcast episode we've ever had. Now, let me ask you this though, because I do remember.
Oh my God.
Didn't the waiter kind of realize and was trying to say, hey, we've got our own, like try and steer him towards a cheaper bottle, but of quality? Didn't you tell me that? That's a legit question.
Amanda finds out about the rent and she is pissed. Amanda's not happy that Daniel pulled off this scam and she's not happy.
Set him straight.
Voice of reason. Voice of reason, Amanda LaRusso, Courtney Hangler, our girl. She's setting him straight.
Sets him straight. So
and now is the moment we've all been waiting for, right? We get to finally see Cobra Kai in action.
Now Sam confronts Kyler.
Yeah.
Right? In the cafeteria.
As where all good fights happen.
Always.
In the cafeteria.
And now she's like, look, I never blazed you up. You know what I mean?
Blazed you up?
A blazer.
Is that a blowjob?
Blowjob. I never gave you a blowjob. Why are you lying to people? And he's smirking and he's smiling.
Yeah. Oh.
And now Miguel
steps up and
strong.
What a fight scene.
Great fight scene.
Choreographed. Amazingly choreographed. Insane fight scene. They used the tray.
Now, behind the scenes, we'd be on set. All the kids, they really trained. They really were learning.
Oh, yeah.
The choreography, the amount of hours they put into learning martial arts and choreographing it. It was really impressive. And I remember even in between scenes, we were like Mary or Sam, but she was working. They were always working on just always
doing
like
moves.
She had the katanas, I think. They were always practicing, even on breaks or even if they were just watching other.
Yeah, we'd be on lunch.
Scenes.
They'd be practicing.
Those kids worked really hard, and this scene was so impressive. It was for all of them, just choreographed perfectly.
Dude, I was at the edge of my seat watching this last night. Like that scene got me up. Like it was so awesome. And also the buildup. I mean, we're in 5 episodes. We've had to wait 5 episodes, right? To see.
That was about as long as your story.
Okay.
I could have watched all 3 Godfathers and listened to a whole Meatloaf album, and it would have been shorter.
Meatloaf album.
It would have been shorter than that story.
OMG.
But the payoff was phenomenal.
Payoff is great.
On the story.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so the fight goes down.
And it goes viral. It goes viral. Sam is smitten. And Miguel goes to Johnny and tells him the news. Yeah. He kicked this guy's ass.
It works.
Your
karate works.
He's so stoked that Johnny gives Miguel a gi. He gives him a Cobra Kai gi. I think it's his own Cobra Kai gi.
It was the one that he trained for, and it is for his first tournament.
But Robbie saw this all go down because he was actually coming to go and he was coming to reconnect with his father. And instead he sees his father connecting with a stranger. And
a strange kid showing this kid the love.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Miguel is looking up.
And off the air, you did say a strange ethnic kid. Now you're not saying it.
What?
But you did say it.
No, it's so stupid. A kid that needs a father and a father that is looking to have a son that looks up to him. Try to make up for what he didn't do with Robbie, now with Miguel. They're hugging. Robbie sees it, and now he pulls a move that a girl would pull, an ex-girlfriend, that I'm going to bang your best friend, and you don't even know it.
Oh, my gosh.
And this is...
He goes and gets a job at LaRusso Auto. My God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there any greater offense that he could have done? He's a little maniacal kid.
He is. He's very smart. He likes to scam, and part of a good scam or part of a good revenge plot, is really understanding human behavior and how humans react.
Your people invented the Ponzi scheme.
Yes, that is correct.
So you guys all know all about the scheming. And
you guys, I think, invented loan sharking or
well, you invented the Ponzi scheme,
money.
And we perfected the Ponzi scheme.
Well, but that's why
Ponzi walked so that Madoff could run.
Ponzi.
So
I
now,
really do hope we're pissing people off with this. I really do, because
the viral video does what it had to do. Everyone wants to join Cobra Kai now. People are lining up to join Cobra Kai. It couldn't have worked better.
He walks in and he just sees everybody there. I had a question for you. As a Gen Zer, let's just say you lived in a time period where there was no internet.
Yeah.
And things couldn't go viral.
Yeah.
Keeping it quick, no George Lucas saga Okay.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you are so glad that there was no internet, if you were in my age range and growing up back then, that you did that, like, you'd be like, God, that could have went viral. If people had cameras.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like what, like awfully embarrassing thing?
Embarrassing, or just something you pulled off.
Mm.
And it's not, I'm not just saying that so I can tell you mine. I'm really curious because we've had this discussion a bunch of times.
I actually once had sex with an orange.
I don't mean in your personal life where people could have actually filmed it.
Oh. Okay. Well, then let's
not let that go.
Let's forget about that.
What did you banged an orange?
Yeah.
Like an American Pie?
Yeah, I took an orange because I had just discovered porn, but I didn't discover masturbating. And so I didn't know what masturbation was, but I was watching porn and I watched sort of what happened. And I was like, how? And so I thought if I had sex I had to do it with something and there was no woman in my life for the next 20 years. So I was like, I have to do something. And I took an orange and I hollowed out the orange and I had sex with the orange. And what they don't tell you is that the skin of the orange has, it created, like, let's call them micro tears in my penis. And then the acid from the orange, so it burned my penis immensely.
All right.
So I feel like that I'm glad that wasn't on tape.
Well, but I mean, it'd be weird if you did it in public.
Right. No, that was not in public.
Well, if you're going to share yours, I'll share mine.
Thank you, because I feel very vulnerable right now.
I stuck my dick in a vacuum cleaner one time.
On or off?
It was on. Well, no, it was on.
Oh, wow.
So, because it suctioned, and it was one of those metal. It was one of those metal ones.
Old school.
Yeah, and the pressure valve was metal.
Yeah.
So my little root head just popped up, and I cut it.
My root head.
So now I was scared that I hurt myself. So I showed Carol. I told her I zipped it up, and she put Neosporin on it.
Oh, shout out to Carol. What a good woman.
Now, what did you do publicly that you're like, oh, I'm so glad nobody saw that?
I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. Right away, my mind went to having sex with the orange. How about you?
I was going to say one time we were playing street football. It's not bad. We definitely probably, if we had that back then, would have filmed some of the stuff we did, like pranks and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, but we were playing street football and I'm going long. I mean, there's like 30 kids out there. And I just ran into a parked car.
Oh.
And when I tell you, it was the worst, worst pain. And I'm laying on the ground.
And you're someone who got his dick cut up in a vacuum cleaner, and this was a worse pain.
Don't judge, okay?
I'm just comparing pains.
I just find it, ironic that you started banging a fruit and just stayed consistent with that.
Yeah. That's why I call my cock my vitamin C.
I banged a waterbed once.
What?
A waterbed. You remember? Oh,
you banged the waterbed?
I stuck my root in the side of the waterbed and I was humping it.
Oh my God.
But no, so I'm laying on the ground and I can't breathe. And I don't know, if you've ever been winded and hurt and people are going, are you all right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was making this like noise and guaranteed that would have been all over the internet.
That would have been your stomping the grapes video?
I mean, buddy, when I tell you, I was like, boom, I hit the car, fell down, and it just would have, I guarantee you that would have went viral because everybody that saw it was like, bro, it was epic. It looked like the car hit me.
Right.
Anyways.
Danny.
I don't know how we got
Danny LaRussa.
What's our segue?
This is the longest episode we've ever done. And I take responsibility for it with my wine story, but it's a great wine story.
It's interesting.
Daniel LaRusso ends up going to Mr. Miyagi's grave. Wow. What a scene. We are at Miyagi's grave and he's just at such a loss. He feels like he's lost himself. He's doesn't know what's going on. He's losing control of his daughter. He's losing control of his personal life. He's letting himself lose the battle against, his wife. His wife is losing respect for him. And he goes to the grave of his mentor, his sensei, Mr. Miyagi, and is basically just looking for answers. And as he's about to drive off, we have an amazing flashback scene to where Mr. Miyagi this is the first time we see Mr. Miyagi in the series, I believe. Or no, that's not true. We see him in the beginning in some flashbacks, but this is the first time we get Miyagi wisdom, where he basically says, you need to find your balance. It's all about balance. Everything is about balance. And he basically realizes that he needs to start reconnecting to karate, which he's stopped. He's done it gimmicky wise with the ads and whatnot, but he comes home, he dusts off that back room that's now a storage room. He has, I think it's the first time we get the actual Karate Kid music in.
Well, he busts
Cobra
out, he
Kai.
takes the headband out of retirement.
The headband comes out of retirement. He puts it on, and man, I mean, I think that is probably the most emotionally charged that I've seen Ralph Macchio in the show as an actor. Like, you can tell that headband has a real effect on him, on his life.
When the music kicks in. And now, but what it's foreshadowing is, okay, Cobra Kai's starting up. Here comes Miyagi-Do. Yeah. But this time, Johnny's training the underdogs. And now, which you will see later on, Daniel, I keep wanting to say Ralph, is going to train the punk.
Yeah.
The bully.
Yeah.
And
it ends with a epic kata. He's doing a kata. And boom, elbow shot, fade to black. Amazing.
And then in memory of Pat Morita.
In
honor, who, by the way, was a stand-up comedian. Comedy store comedian. And apparently really blue comic. Like, he was pretty dirty on stage. And I remember, obviously he was in Happy Days.
Yes, he was in Happy Days.
He played Arnold. And there's a movie called With the Unknown Comic. I know you're too young to remember him, Daniel.
Right. Is Matt Rife in it? If he's not, then I don't know it.
He had the Unknown Comic back in the day. He was a comic that had a garbage bag on his head, and he would do one-liners. And very funny. He was on the Gong Show, and he made a movie called Night Patrol. And it was all the Comedy Store comics, and Pat Morita played a person that got essayed because he can't say the word for online, and he is on the ground, and he was in that movie, and he is very funny. He talks like a little girl.
And it's funny because when you talk,
and that's Mr. Miyagi.
When you talk to Ralph Macchio about Pat Morita, he talks about him as if he is his Mr. Miyagi. And I do think that, they were probably working together in this movie back in the day. Ralph was young, Pat was old. They both kind of rode this wave together. He has like a real a father figure, sensei figure impact on Ralph's life, and it's really interesting to see.
And he talked also how generous he was. And there's a story on I gotta look it up, but how Pat Morita got the job.
I think it's about,
like, he wasn't originally considered, and then somebody recommended him, and he was like, from Happy Days, or and he came in and just nailed it.
And he waxed on and waxed off, which brings us to
the wax on, wax off segment here. This is where you guys send in questions and stuff that we get. I don't know how our producer, you just pull them from the socials, right? Yeah. So
pulling from the socials.
So this is, you could start off, because I think I started off last time, even though my cards are all out of order, because, God forbid.
So then let me get
here
it started.
We go. I got it.
I'll get it started.
Yeah,
ready? Here we go. Wax on, wax off. Train with a pitching machine or spar against a partner?
Spar against a partner.
100%.
Nothing goes.
Hold a grudge or forgive and forget?
Forgive and forget. What about you?
Me?
You hold grudges.
No, I forgive and forget.
Really?
Sometimes too easy.
Except if you're a girl in third grade.
I'm coming for you, Lauren Seltzer. This isn't over yet. Have lunch with Mr. Miyagi or have lunch with Sensei Kreese?
Oh, Miyagi all day.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the bad boys.
I know you do. Do you remember at the premiere when we saw him and we were both freaking out, and my ex-wife's like, What do you? I don't understand. You're like, you have no idea.
Well, we also had no idea he was going to be in the next season, and then he just showed up at the premiere, and we're like, oh my god, he's going to be in the next season.
And he was in Rambo. He was the helicopter pilot, but we both freaked out.
Okay, go.
Confront a bully in public or let the rumors die on their own.
Confront a bully in public.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You gotta, and 9 out of 10 times you can, I never said that, and then it just proves you.
In fact, and I know this is a long episode, but I had to confront a Cobra Kai bully on Twitter. Do you remember this? There was a girl who came after me on Twitter who was like, the Cobra Kai has a character named Anush Naruzi. You guys couldn't. She was like, Cobra Kai has a character named Anush. Out of all the South Asian actors, you couldn't even get you have to get a white guy to play Anush.
Oh God!
And I on Twitter, I was like, hey Sarah, thank you. And she like tagged Netflix and everything. I'm like, thanks for trying to get me fired. But let's just clarify a couple of things. Number one, Anush comes from the name Anushiravan, which is actually a Persian name named after the Persian king. And then that name has been taken to India. And the last name Naruzi is a Persian Jewish last name. Persian Jews make 0.0001% of the world's population. I am a Persian Jew. Let me ask you, am I allowed to play this fucking character? I was so pissed. And she responded, oh my God, I didn't think you would actually check Twitter. I'm a big fan of it. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Well, what's hilarious about stuff like that is first of all, it's not about, you're an actor. Okay.
Right.
This is from the beginning of time. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't a robot from the future.
Right.
You can play whatever you want to play.
Leave us alone.
And why do you and you're wrong. And you're inaccurate and wrong. And yes, I remember this, and it pissed me off.
Anyway,
because I wanted you fired, and it didn't happen.
Wait, were you the little girl? Was that your account? Next question,
Bret. Were you that little girl? All right. Own a car dealership or a strip mall in the Valley?
Strip mall in the Valley. Collect the rents. You can do cash out refis. You can do 1031 exchanges. You can use the real estate a lot better with a strip mall than you could with a car dealership.
I take the strip mall.
Yeah.
Car dealerships, a lot of problems, inventory.
Yeah.
You got 100 depreciating assets once the year ends.
Don't need it.
All right. Last one. Wear Cobra Kai black and yellow or Miyagi-Do white and blue.
The black and yellow is so cool. The sleeveless black and yellow gi. The sleeveless gi is so cool. So I'd go with that over the traditional Miyagi-Do.
I got to tell you, I know it's my family. I'm a LaRusso. If we're just going on straight cool uniforms, you got to go black. You got to go black. Yeah, you got to go the black and yellow. All right. So guys, this has been probably the longest episode we've done. How long has it been?
Oh.
What?
I thought it was like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Look at us.
I guess your story was just boring.
Well, actually, I had a bunch more of my story that I wanted to tell.
Well, let's go. We got 18 minutes.
Well, then the waiter came over. You guys can follow me on Instagram at StandUpDan.
And Bret Ernst, BretErnst. Guys, check my schedule. I'm touring all over. Dan, there's a good, strong possibility me and Dan are starting up the Comics of Cobra Kai tour.
Yes, if we are in your town, you got to come watch us.
But we're trying to make that work, so come see us.
Yeah. And follow the socials of our podcast at Sweep the Pod. Thank you, guys. And until next time, next episode.
Like, subscribe.
Oh, like and
share. Let it know all the Cobra Kai fan sites. You're not getting any other type of information like Dan going out to dinner.
Yes.
From any other podcast that has anything to do with Cobra Kai.
Join the Patreon and I'll tell you the long story. That was the short one.
Dude, I thought you told me.